You know what? We're not an independent lab here or anything that's going to get anybody in trouble. We're just telling you what we're doing over here while we're drinking. You know, doesn't everybody just have a hydrometer sitting around?
I would think so.
Hello and welcome to episode 125 of the Mashup, the best bourbon conversation you're going to hear all week long. We're your hosts, Kenny and Anthony. Hello, sir, on the 125th golden anniversary episode.
Golden episode.
God, nice. I'm just making up stuff now. I remember, didn't Four Roses have a bottle that was 125th anniversary?
The 125th, yeah.
What was that for? Was that just because it was 125 years of the distillery?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't want to get sentimental over here because Steven's not here. You know, he's still traveling. He's still traversing the West, as I like to say, you know, going out there doing important stuff. But 125 episodes is significant, man.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of episodes, and I'm just happy that you've been along for the ride here in the last 20 or so, I think. Has it been about 20? Maybe a couple.
I don't know. I need to look back at, was it like April-ish, I believe?
Yeah, so I can officially declare myself on the 125th episode the Iron Man. There's only one episode I don't appear on, and that's when Michael and Steven were on vacation. Yeah, so
you've been on 124.
I've been on, I think, I don't know if we count as, I think we did count that as a real episode. So yeah, I've been on 124 of 125 mashup episodes.
I do have a question. I went back and listened to some of the older ones.
Oh yeah, that's good. Let's go down memory lane here.
Well, there was one episode that you said that you all put on there, no episode storm or something.
Okay.
So is this really the 125th or is this only 124? Did y'all count? Because it looked like that counted as a week or something.
I would have to go back. We did it. We used to do things that were kind of silly. Like we'd say,
was this really like the 35th episode?
No. It's not that. It's not that little. It's not that. It's not that minimal. But there was a time where I think we used to put stuff out just to let people know, hey, we're still here. And at that time, I think we had 25 listeners. So 25 people who were listening were like, oh yeah, they're off a week. We won't worry about them.
For the 32 listeners we have now, here's our 125th episode.
Oh, there you go. That's
no, I'm just teasing.
He's joking, ladies and gentlemen.
Teasing. I really appreciate being on here, though, man. It's fun. It's fun stuff.
It's been a lot of fun, man. All of it's been a lot of fun. So glad to be here at 125. But I have to tell you, so I think it was a couple weeks ago when I sent you a picture. So God. Wait a minute. Okay. Let me appropriately set this up. I'm already laughing. Anytime I go anywhere, I send Kenny a picture, and this one was a picture from a rooftop bar in Columbus, Ohio. And without fail, he always says something like, bro, you're on vacation a lot, or nice to be able to afford that, baller.
Something I called you a baller.
Oh, man. It always is like
you're always on vacation,
but I'm trying to share something fun with you, and this was actually a fun thing. We were going to visit family, so I have family that live in Columbus, and then I also have family that live in Cleveland. I have family all over Ohio, and so the plan was originally, I've referred to my one cousin as Baby Bourbon on this podcast, even though he's not Baby Bourbon anymore. I still call him that. Baby Bourbon was supposed to bring his wife and his twin boys, and my other cousin was supposed to bring, her and her husband were supposed to come down. It was supposed to be all of us hanging out for the weekend, kind of getting to hang out when we don't get to, converse all the time because we're down here in Kentucky. But then Baby Bourbon had to drop out at the last minute, and it was a work-related thing. So we were like, okay. So we stuck with the plans, and we ended up in downtown Columbus at I think it was a Canopy Hilton. Mm-hmm. And the top of the Canopy Hilton is a rooftop bar called...
Oh, it looked pretty, though. It was a really nice picture.
Yeah, called Goodale Station. And this is a relatively new thing. And the funny thing about this is, so I sit down with I call my cousin-in-law, but he's like a brother, my cousin-in-law Malik. We sit down at the bar.
Malachi?
No, it's just Malik. Yeah, Malik. Right. So we sit down and we're looking at all this bourbon, and they got a great bourbon selection at Goodale Station, massively good bourbon selection. And so I'm like, I can imagine the prices on these things are going to be outrageous. So we start looking, they have a QR code, and the prices and the selection and what they have up there doesn't match what's on a QR code. You ever been to a restaurant like that? We're like, here's our bourbon selection. You look at it, and it's like, this hasn't been updated in 12 months. I was instantly excited because I saw a lot of things that I would want to try, and I didn't know how much it would cost. So we actually, it was Negroni week. You ever had a Negroni?
I've not.
Yeah, I hadn't either. And Malik had him, and I'm like, I'm not starting with Negroni. So we each got a beer, and then we were looking at the bourbon selection, and then he kept saying, is there anything you see up there that you would want to try? And I'm looking. They had the Elijah Craig, the Ryder Cup one that's in a toasted European oak.
Oh, yeah.
So it was sitting up there unopened, but it was sitting next to the other Elijah Craig bourbons they had.
I've not had it. I've heard it's not good, though.
You heard it was not good?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So funniest thing. So there's like 10 bartenders. There's the manager standing there. He looks like a pit boss. He looks like he's going to come out and like casino somebody, you know, like what is this vibe here? So it's like awesome. We're having pre-drinks now before we go to dinner. And I'm like, I bet you that Elijah Craig toasted, because they had it for $12 on the menu, the QR code. I'm like, I bet you they don't inventory this. It's probably not. They don't have a differentiation between that being limited and the regular one. So of course we asked the bartender, and he's like, "It'll be $12.90 for a 2-ounce pour." I'm like, "Okay, 12."
I would still do. I would do that.
Yeah, $12.90 for a 2-ounce pour is basically like, I mean, it's $130 bottle,
I'd do
right?
that.
At retail.
Yeah,
so I was like, oh, I was like, we're doing that.
Yeah.
So then like he got a little self-conscious and starts asking the other people, like, is this regular Elijah Craig toasted or is this different? God bless Malik. He's so great. He's like, it's a promotional item. He's like, it's just like the Hennessy bottle there. It's got a promotional thing on it. It's the same thing. And it's like, oh, yeah.
Good job, Malik.
These guys knew their stuff, but they didn't know it that well. So we got a 2-ounce pour of the Elijah Craig Ryder Cup.
Dude,
and
that's great.
For $12.90 each. Yeah,
because I heard it wasn't that good.
Here's the thing, though. It's 90 proof, 94 proof.
Okay.
And so it's got like a nice spiciness to it, and it definitely has like a different flavor. It's a little more earthy.
Okay.
But I actually enjoyed it. I thought
How much are those? I haven't seen them.
Retail was $120 on them, which I think $120 is a little rich.
Okay, so that's why. Well, chances are people told me it's probably not that good. Yes. Because they're probably comparing it to the regular toasted that's like $69.
Exactly.
And it's probably pretty similar.
Well, I think it's a different flavor, but
Okay.
I don't know if it's different in the trend of $120
Right.
Or more, because most of the places, like when I went searching for it, because I have a friend, Seth, that's we grew up together, and he's very big into golf, and I told him, like, I'm going to try to find that bottle for you because I know how much you like it. And I ended up finding one or two, but I mean, on average, cost them for me was like $130 a clip.
Okay.
You know,
so that's probably why I've heard they weren't that good, because people were just only talking about it for the money.
Yeah. So if is it $130 versus the regular?
Though.
Oh no, I thought it tasted good.
For $12 a pour, bro, that's a no-brainer too.
Oh yeah.
100%.
So we felt like we got a little bit like we had one over on them, but it was a nice pre-dinner drink. And then we ended up going back up to the rooftop later, hanging out. And my one really good buddy from college, my buddy Jeff, he came and joined us because he lives in Columbus. He like scootered down. It was hilarious. He just grabbed the scooter and came down, and we had an amazing time. We drank a couple more pours. I think we looked for some of the more moderately priced good pours, like another one we had with a Wild Turkey Rare Breed, because I think they'd had it for like $14 or $15 for 2 ounces.
Okay.
Which, again, I know that's only a $60, $70 bottle, but, if you're in a place where you're going to pay like a ton of money for something else, you got to pick the stuff that's going to taste the best. Drink something that's good.
Not really expensive.
Massively overpriced.
Yeah.
But they did a nice job. And you know what else they did over there?
I do not.
They served their bourbon in Glencairns.
Ooh.
So they would take and pour you a full 2 ounces, a generous 2 ounces,
That's good.
dump it in Glencairn, and then you're hanging out on the rooftop having a thing. So, I mean, I would recommend it if you're in Columbus, Ohio. You should check them out because they are definitely bourbon centric. They're not like they're not faking it. They know what they're doing there, except they didn't know the price of their Elijah Craig Ryder Cup toasted.
I heard there was a movie star sighting there too.
Oh yeah. Do you really want me to talk about that? My God,
I heard Adam Sandler was there.
Oh God, this is like
Was Adam Sandler not there?
The blessing and the curse. No, I've heard that too.
I heard he was there.
So I know that I've never talked about this before on the podcast.
We haven't?
We have never talked about this.
Wow.
It's never been discussed. We don't do a lot of visual stuff either, because on Instagram we might post stuff and it might
not
be
very
whatever.
attractive.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to just go with your strong suits, and I mean.
Oh, Kenny, you're freaking great.
Oh,
I love
I'm sorry.
this. I love it. So at the end of the night there in Columbus, Ohio, I was hanging out, and this guy kept looking at me. You never know, like when you're in a place you haven't been in a while, you're like, do I know this person? Because I've been around the Ohio area for 20 some odd years of my life. So I'm like, it's chances are I could know somebody that's hanging out. That happens all the time.
Right.
Instead, this guy's staring. He's kind of looking over, kind of like, what's he doing? And when he goes to leave with his girl or whatever, he comes over. He's like, hey, man, anybody ever tell you look like Adam Sandler?
He said, peeing your pants is cool, right?
Yeah. I was like, hello, hoo-hoo. I was like, here we go. I'm like, Yeah, man. I'm like, I do get it a lot. I'm like, and I actually just joking this out. Like, I don't know why, but I do get it a lot. And so I, get a fist bump. It was a funny moment. A couple other people like, yeah, you do look like Adam Sandler.
That's what I told you when I first met you.
I know when you first met, you said the same thing. And so, and then the topper to it all is we went to the art museum the next day, and we were at the art museum. There was like a group of like maybe 20 to 25-year-old. I call them kids because, we're older. They're walking around the art museum, and I see them all like whispering and pointing and stuff. And I'm just like, God, kids are weird. And I walk away. And then my cousins come up to me afterwards and like, you know what they were talking about? I'm like, what? They said you look like Adam Sandler. And I was like, oh, okay.
It is, man.
And so that's what they were talking about. They're like, that looks like Adam Sandler. Like, is that Adam Sandler? And I'm like, my God. So
that's hilarious.
Whoever blessed me with the Adam Sandler genes, I'm happy to have him because I like Adam Sandler. So it's all good.
I know. That's what I told you when I first met you, though. That's funny.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, so this week we do not have any shout-outs or reviews. I would like to give a shout-out.
Oh, yeah? Who do you want to give a shout-out to?
2 people.
All right, 2 people.
My man Julius.
Ah.
And my man Randall. So I hung out with Julius last night.
Yep.
A little sipping, a little hanging out. That was cool. I'll see Randall really soon as well to grab one of his pit sandwiches.
Oh, my God. It's amazing.
That's the special, yeah. So shout out to those 2 guys. If y'all are ever in Lexington, you got to go eat at South of Wrigley in Omakasa. Yeah. Omakasa.
I think it's Omakasa, yeah.
Best sushi, man. Best sushi around. And Randall's place, South of Wrigley, just incredible food as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, in absence of shout-outs, like, those are 2 guys that I never mind talking about because their food and their restaurants and the people they are just, they're just amazing. Like, God, man, I've not been to Julius's place yet, I have to admit, because we haven't figured out a time. I want to go there with my wife where we can just enjoy it, not with the kids or anything like that.
Wait till you get one of those big professor bonuses, bro. Because it's expensive.
Well,
it's amazing.
No,
it's amazing. It's
I don't care if
amazing.
I've heard it is expensive, and then, God, I think Randall, like South of Wrigley, he's got the best sandwiches in Lexington. Multiple people that are just finding him now are saying the same thing, and I have had many sandwiches and orders of fries that I don't need over there.
Yeah.
But so we'll always give them a shout out if we can. I mean, in fact,
hence why we stick to the podcast and not much visual, right?
Oh my God, hilarious! Yeah, we eat too much.
Oh boy.
But if you would like a shout out, we would love to give you one. Just leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Facebook or Instagram. Drop us a line, and we will gladly give you a shout out.
And one thing to go along with that, mention maybe a bottle or bottles.
Yes.
That you'd like to see us open or do a review on. Chances are we might have ones already sitting around. If not, we'll go search one out.
Absolutely.
Seriously, yeah. This will be kind of, actually throw some bottles out there that you might want to see.
Yeah, as I've said many times, we are 100% independent. We did have a sample a couple weeks ago with very smart people over at Garrison Brothers who were like, we will like them to have a sample. And we're like, damn, that's some good stuff.
Speaking of that, I've not seen any of those pop up on secondary yet either.
I have not either.
But they usually don't have a value, I don't think. So
yeah, well.
I hope they don't. I want to grab at least a few.
I've already put out some feelers. And I'm like, I want some. But I'm just saying, like, so when we self-fund and we are true enthusiasts, we just like to go out and find good whiskey. If you do have those suggestions, like Kenny said, just bring them to us and we will love to do an episode on them.
Yeah, and it can be something that you have that you already enjoy and you want us to enjoy, or it can be something that you're curious about, either one.
Right, yeah. So, Kenny, tonight we have a very interesting bottle. For no particular reason, I was at a wine and spirit store, which I'll talk about here in a second, and I came across this bottle, and I was like, we got to try that.
Boom, 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 boom. I'm sorry, what now?
Oh, yeah. Are you just saying something about the wine and spirit store? Is that? Okay, yeah. So go ahead and take it away for this Sagamore Spirit Double Oak Rye.
Yeah, so Sagamore Spirit Double Oak Rye, Sagamore Spirit Distillery in Baltimore, Maryland. This is a 2023 release. ABV is 48.3. The proof is 96.6. It is non-age stated, but they do say on there it's minimum of 4 to 5 years old, and it is a double oaked, so it is finished for an 18 months additional. They say in wave stave barrels.
Yeah, they got some crazy process over
18
there.
months is a long time.
That's a long time for secondary finish.
There's no mash bill stated, but it is a blend, they say, of 2 different high rye mash bills. Maryland rye is 51 to 70% rye, and the rest of the mash bill being corn malt. If you look on the back, though, it does say it is distilled in Maryland and Indiana, So this would actually be some of their own juice and some MGP. But it's not known whether it's a 95.5 MGP or the barely legal or the lower rye MGP. There are a couple of different MGP rye mash bills. But this has got me curious. Retail MSRP is $54.99.
Yeah, and I actually picked this bottle up from the good people over at Jackson Wine and Spirits, which Kenny was joking about. They got, you know, it's funny though. They got a great store over there, and it had been a while since I wanted to see John.
They're funny and they're good people.
They're great people,
Eric
man.
Yeah, cool. So.
Yeah, John and Eric, good people. So if you get a chance and you're in Lexington, I know we're shouting out to our favorite food places, but go check out Jackson's too. They got some good barrel picks and other things going on. So I'm excited because let's talk about this bottle. It actually has a really nice. It's not a common shape going on here.
The bottle, the design and the feel is awesome. Like their marketing people did an amazing job. Did we review the regular Sagamore rye, or did we just me, you, and Caleb drink it? I can't remember.
No, I think Caleb brought the two bottle share one night. I mean, no, we never had a Sagamore product on the podcast.
Okay. Yeah. The first one I tasted was just a traditional rye, and it was actually all MGP.
Okay.
And this one would be their own stuff with MGP. 18 months is a long time.
It is. That secondary finish is a long time.
This is very, very dark in color.
It is.
I'm excited to try this.
Go back to your thing where you said darker.
Dark on a berry.
Dark on a berry.
Dark fruits.
Dark liquids.
Dark liquid. Amin. Odlovo. Amin.
Got some dark liquids.
Man, but this bottle shape is actually, I'm going to let you describe it, but it is. I love it a lot.
It's almost like got this weird thing going on here with like, it's almost like diamonds. I think of diamonds for some reason because it's like got peaks and almost is shaped like a piece of jewelry, I would say. Mm-hmm. That's the way I look at it. This
beautiful
neck,
bottle.
It's beautiful. The neck on it is very it's very thick glass.
Thick glass.
And it's a very nice presentation. Golden blue, and the blue's a very light blue. And one thing I will say that they've captured nicely is, do you know anything about Sagamore? Do you know like anything at all about it?
I do not, but I do know that this is one of the few ryes that is not green, so I like that.
That's right.
Breaking the trend.
They're breaking the trend, but that's because maybe that's what they're about. They're about it. So Sagamore is actually a famous farm that produced thoroughbreds. And what's in Maryland? They got Belmont Steaks right up in Maryland. That's Belmont. And
sure.
So they've incorporated, I think, a little bit of that like jockey silk feel to their like neck tag. So if you look at this thing that I tore off here, their foil that goes around.
Oh, it is.
It kind of reminds you of jockey silks. And then on the cork, it says 1909, which I believe is the same year that Sagamore Farm was founded. Oh. And then they got like the diamonds on there for the jockey silks, I think. So I think this is like a tribute to the thoroughbred farm. And they've done a really nice job with it because even if you don't know about the horse history, it's just a really, really nice bottle. I mean, it's probably one of the better presentations I've seen from like a...
It's one of the nicest bottles out there, I think.
Yeah.
If you look at it. I mean,
it's like beautiful.
Man, little detail all over and little, just small little things they do and the way the letters stick out in the glass. I mean, it's not just like a plain round, or a plain bottle with just a sticker on it. Like literally the glass itself, I bet it costs a lot to make this glass.
Oh, it has to.
That's a very expensive glass.
It has to.
It's beautiful.
Yep. And they have a little bit about their story on the back of the bottle. But what I will say is, for those that don't know about Sagamore and this brand, Sagamore Spirit, they started back in 2013, mostly sourcing MGP, as Kenny said. And then before that, dating back to 1909, it was a renowned thoroughbred farm. It still is. They're best known for 3 horses: Discovery, Better Roses, and Native Dancer. Kenny, do you know any of those horses? Native Dancer actually is one of those horses in history that's forgotten about because it was a gray horse, first of all, which you know how most thoroughbreds are usually dark in color.
Yeah.
So this was a gray horse called...
Shame what she used to be.
The Gray Ghost. That's going to be your nickname. I'm going to call you the Gray Ghost now. So this horse actually won, I think, the Belmont and the Preakness, but it got second place in the Kentucky Derby. So it started off the year in the Triple Crown, losing and getting second place, but then winning the second 2 legs of it.
So
that
close.
was I think in the
so close.
Yeah, so close. I think the 1950s. So when you think about it, Sagamore actually kind of shares a lot of the same spirit with Kentucky, right? Because we're all about our thoroughbreds and
horses, yeah.
Horses and limestone
horses and
water,
bourbon, right?
Yeah, and everything else. And so even though they opened a distillery in 2017, I think that they were sourcing all MGP until about 2021. I think that's the year they started to put their own distillate back into this product. they got a lot of history in the biz. You know, in previous episodes, we talked about the significance of Maryland rye. Do you got any good Maryland ryes? You know anything about Maryland rye?
Bro, yes. We've had a lot of good Maryland ryes here.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say that. Not really. We've had a lot of Maryland rye on the labels, but they're all source MGP.
Yeah.
Remember all those really nice 14-year MGPs?
Those are from Sealbox, right? Or they came through Sealbox, but they were a brand.
I got most of mine through Sealbox, but it was the Mount Vernon and the
Sherwood.
Sherbrooke. And then another one, they're all quote-unquote Maryland ryes, but they were 14-year barrel-proof MGP ryes. They were amazing.
And they took them over.
But it wasn't really Maryland, though. So.
Yeah, they got them at 12 or 13 years old and took them back into Maryland and aged them for an extra 2 years. So I think Maryland rye, we had the episode on Pikesville rye, and that was a Maryland-style rye. But the thing is, like, Maryland was famous for producing rye whiskeys. Now it got wiped out during Prohibition kind of thing. And so now they're kind of trying to... Government. Hey, don't get started over there about the government. Pipe down. We don't talk about that kind of stuff on here. But yeah, so I think that what they did was they have revived that in recent years, and they've been trying their best. And I've heard a lot of good things about Sagamore Spirit, so I'm excited to try this.
I mean, based on how good that one... It was MGP, but still, based on how good that one was and then how dark this one is, I'm excited to try it.
Yeah. So should we get the nosing?
Yeah, let's do that, man.
All right.
Ooh, it's very rye on the nose.
Wow. That, like, not only is it very rye, but there's a little ethanol to it, too.
It pops, yeah.
It popped up.
But this is only 96.3 proof.
Yeah, which is crazy because it noses like it's hot.
It noses like 120 proof.
That nose very hot. Woo.
That kind of scares me.
That does scare me a little bit. That mean there's going to be a lot of flavor in this sip? I don't know.
I don't mind the nose. It's just a little hot on the nose, especially for that lower proof.
So it's been a while since we tried a rye on the podcast. I mean, we have tried other ryes. We had a Rittenhouse rye, other things like that. But to me, when I've described rye to people, I talk about the pickliness of it. Mm-hmm. This seems to have like a high pickly, piney nose to it. I could be wrong, but that's kind of what I'm getting out of it instead of like the more understated, softer.
The understated baking spice, you're not getting as much. You're getting more of that pickle.
Yeah, getting the pickle and like the...
So my guess is, because more of the pickle to me screams 95.5 MGP.
Maybe.
So where it says it is a blend of, or distilled in Indiana and Maryland, obviously some MGP in there.
Right.
My guess is it's the 95.5 MGP in there.
Maybe. That's the high rye versus the lower rye. Because I know that Maryland rye is supposed to be, like you said when you were going over it, that it's supposed to be a little bit like
51 to 70.
Yeah, 51 to 70, which is different than your Indiana, your 95.5.
Yeah. The dark color and that extra 18 months, man.
18 months.
That's a long time. That's interesting. Once I puff the ethanol out, though, it's not quite as, the nose is a lot better.
I got you.
But no, dude, that's 110 minimum, probably 120 proof on the nose, though. It really is. It's a 120 proof nose. I mean, that's wild.
Yeah, it noses way hotter than what the ABV is. And so it's been a while since I've had a rye like this, so I'm excited to kind of try it. But as we're getting ready to try this, did you know that this company was founded and owned by the gentleman, Kevin Plank, who also is the proprietor of Under Armour? Did you know that, sir?
I did not know that.
How do you feel about that?
You want the truth?
Yeah.
When I first hear that makes me think he might just be into the money side of it. And not a good first thought. Yeah. So, I mean, like two buddies that like started drinking bourbon and they enjoy bourbon and like, hey, let's start something. Or you've got somebody that's, a Marianne Eves that's, a master distiller, worked in the industry and like, oh, let's do this and that. I think their bourbon's going to be good. Some Under Armour guy, I don't know.
Well, the one thing I'm mad at Under Armour about is, The Rock, right? The wrestler. Do you smell what The Rock is cooking?
Yes.
Yeah. So The Rock is with Under Armour, and I've always been mad at the way they did his logo. So I liked his old logo during the Attitude Era. You guys know I'm a wrestling fan. And I feel like Under Armour single-handedly ruined The Rock. Like, I will not buy Rock Under Armour stuff, but I would buy it if it was still WWE branded stuff. So that's a little weird thing I have against Under Armour. And then the other thing I'm going to say is, like, I can't really get too negative on Under Armour because, like, my kids love the stuff. Like that's all my kids wear. And I know a lot of other people. Do you gravitate toward it or
I
not?
have no Under Armour at all.
Okay, well I really don't either. I never really got into it, but I know like it's massively popular. Especially
Now when the kids were younger and they were into sports,
Yeah.
we definitely had some Under Armour stuff for sure.
All Under Armour stuff. So what's interesting about the fact that he is the owner is as of this past month, right? So September, I think the first or second week of September, it was reported that this company, Sagamore Spirit, the majority ownership has been sold to the parent company of the popular Italian liquor Di Serrano. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't know.
You don't know Di Serrano? Come on, Kenny. Do you remember those commercials in the 1980s? Di Serrano on the rocks? Or maybe the 90s?
I do not,
remember.
man.
You didn't know those? I'm going to find one right now because...
Di Serrano, no, I don't know.
Oh, my God. Dude, these are classic commercials. I'm finding it right now, and hopefully the microphone picks this up. Here we go.
Di Serrano sour, Di Serrano martini.
Di Serrano on the rocks.
Di Serrano on the rocks. Coming out. Di Serrano's warm and sensual taste makes you wish it would never end.
Ooh.
So those are the new owners of Sagamore Spirit.
Wow.
They're moving their headquarters over there. But I guess Di Serrano is a really popular brand.
Man.
Yeah, so they bought Sagamore, and they're going to move their plans to move their North American headquarters.
So it worked.
Yeah.
He started a distillery for money, sold it to a big parent company for a lot of money, and he's out. He's good. That's exactly what I boom. All right.
Oh, no. Well, I wasn't trying to tell you that to cloud your judgment on this. We haven't even sipped this whiskey yet. But, I mean, yeah, that does sound like the current trends that match what a lot of these folks are doing these days, right?
Based on the one that you and I and Caleb shared, and then the color on this one, I'm still excited to try it, though.
Okay. All right. Well, now that you know about the fact that they've been sold to
Di Serrano.
Di Serrano. What is Di Serrano? I don't even, is that a cognac or something? I don't even know. It just looked awful. The people, but I remember those commercials when I was growing up. Maybe that they're responsible for me liking bourbon now.
Maybe.
I'm going to sue them. All right. Should we go for our first taste?
Yeah.
All right.
Those subliminal messages they sent you.
Ooh. So
You go first, yeah.
So I'm going to start off by saying that this is massively interesting. And when I say massively interesting, I picked up some initial sweetness, and then I picked up a little bit of nuttiness, and like not the normal nuttiness. And then the finish was actually very spicy and kind of flat. That was my first sip, spicy and flat. So I'm not sure right now how I feel about this.
I'm not sure how I feel, but basically my first drink, I was basically trying to see where it fell proof-wise because how hot the nosed.
Right.
So I didn't even pay attention to a lot of the other stuff yet, but it definitely 100% does not drink at all like a 90, what would we say, a 96 proof.
Yep.
This definitely drinks hotter, more at least 110-ish.
1,000%.
But it's not that high ethanol draw you up, so that is good though.
Right.
It does not taste like that super young, hot green stuff.
Right. But
this definitely is 110, 115 proof drinking, even though it's only 96 proof. So that is good for somebody maybe that wants that higher proof feel, but doesn't want to get higher proof tipsy so quick.
Right.
I'm going to make it my second drink, and now I'll kind of go off of like flavors and see what I get here.
Yeah, and when you're doing that, I'm going to comment on that. So yes, I agree. We talk a lot about things drinking above or below their proof, and it's kind of rare for us to have things that drink so much above their proof. I actually think the proof on this bottle is wrong. It doesn't. It seems like it drinks hotter than 96.7 proof. And I know rye can sometimes be spicy, and this definitely has some rye spice that dances a lot on the back palate.
This drink's above its proof and noses above its proof.
Right. Those things typically don't fare well.
I mean, I'm assuming they have to be right though, because I mean, if they're incorrect, I mean they can get in major trouble.
Right.
We can get nerdy and hydrometer real quick if you want, but it's up to you.
Do you really want to do that?
I'll do it right now. Yeah.
You serious?
My headphones are off. Here we go. Hang on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're all about firsts, and Kenny is actually, he has a hydrometer here in house, and he's getting ready to drop it in the bottle because I think both of us. Okay. So first, we haven't had that much to drink. So if we'd had more to drink, then I'd say we were crazy. But this thing is definitely nosing and tastes way above where it's at on proof. So it's going in the hydrometer. We're about the beaker. Sorry, The hydrometer is the thing that you drop in there. Is that what it is?
Yeah, and here's the hydrometer.
Okay, and here we
This is
go.
hydrometer.
I can't wait to see where
it
we're at
is.
here.
Nope, it is. Put my headphones back on. Huh?
Yeah.
All right, headphones are back on. This is not the 96.6.
What is it?
This is 100 or it's 99. Let me see.
Oh.
Hang on, let me turn this real
So
quick.
we got some TTV.
Hang on. There's some TTB
Might
issues
be
here.
going on here.
Yes, there is. Sagamore Spirit's going to hate us.
Oh my God! What
they
is
listen.
going on here? This definitely drinks hotter than it is proofed at.
Yeah,
and this is not a single barrel or anything else that can explain this variation.
This is 98.5 to 99 proof.
So we're 3 points off.
Yep,
And
98.5 minimum.
Yes.
98.5 minimum. My hydrometer, just regular one, but yeah, I would say 99 proof based on this, but you could say 98.5, but 98.5 to 99 proof.
Okay. Well, this is really, really interesting because
I feel like such a jerk doing
I have
this.
seen you drop that hydrometer in bottles many times.
Yes.
Or, I mean, not in bottles, but take and fill the beaker up and put the hydrometer, and it always is spot on. Usually, like I saw you do.
Yeah.
I saw you do that one weekend with all the bottles that we talked about a couple episodes ago.
Yeah.
And it was spot on every time. So we're not like talking about gross misrepresentation here. We're not talking about like 110 versus 96, but this is definitely a couple points off.
Based on how it noses and how it tastes, I really could see it be. I could see it being 110 proof though.
Yeah.
So, but it's not far off. But yeah, it's definitely 98.5, if not 99 proof, for sure. Man, that's funny. I feel like a jerk though.
Hey, you know what? We're not an independent lab here or anything that's going to get anybody in trouble. We're just telling
That's
you
true.
what we're doing over here while we're drinking. Doesn't everybody just have a hydrometer sitting
I
around?
would think so.
Oh my God! Well,
We're all about first, right?
yeah. Hey, it's all good. I mean, but so it brings up an interesting point. So when we talk about flavors, I am getting like a piney woodiness. I'm getting earthy tones. I'm getting a lot of stuff that draws me up. I like the front part of the sip. The middle part of the sip is just okay, and the finish is not really. I mean, unless I'm tasting something different than you are, man, it's just not. It's not doing what I like a rye to
My
do.
dude, I am 100% with you on that.
Yeah.
No, like the very, very, very first initial, boom, it's like, this is going to be great.
Yep.
Then literally nothing. So yeah.
It falls off quick.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm going to go and say that I think the thing that Caleb had that we tried was better than this.
Yeah. I think so.
100%. So it's not like, over time we've only had Sagamore Spirit one other time in the history of our, I guess, tasting. And tonight it seems like it's fallen a little bit flat, man. I just, unfortunately.
Thank goodness they didn't send us this, right?
Yeah, it wasn't a sample. I just went over and bought it from the good folks at Jackson. I'm actually going to take one little pour of this, but I think we're going to get close to past try by here. I don't know. Do you have anything else you want to say about Sagamore Spirit?
The bottle is beautiful.
Yep.
The first one we had that was all MGP was really good.
Yep.
This one, I'm not saying it's bad.
No, it's definitely not bad.
I've drank way worse that's way more expensive.
Right.
So 100% have way worse that's $90 to $120 bottles.
Right.
This was fresh crack. Let me hang on.
Are we on past try by here?
No.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to give it another chance.
You're trying to
'Cause it's
fluff it
fresh
up.
crack.
Fresh crack. You're trying to fluff it up. But we did open it and let it sit for. My goodness.
Can you hear that on the microphone?
I can hear it.
What is that?
That is the frother.
That's the frother, dog.
The frother
I gotta
is out.
froth it.
It's been
I'm
a
gonna
while
froth it
since
for a
we
minute.
frothed it.
I'm going to froth it since it was fresh crack.
There you go.
But no, that makes sense, though, because usually I only froth if it's fresh crack and high proof.
But this is not high proof, man. This is.
But it still gets air in there. So let's see what's if some air gets in there, what'll
Okay.
happen.
I'm going to join you on this. I'm going to make sure that I can do the same thing that you're doing. Sounds wonderful.
See if that
Just in
changes,
case you're
see if
wondering-
it changes anything.
Nobody was harmed during the frothing of the bourbon. It was just the bourbon was.
I'm weird. I'm unique. I can admit that. So
Well, we talked about this, and I know other
we talked
people.
about frothing before on here.
We did talk about frothing.
Okay. So it's kind of, obviously the bourbon does not age in the glass.
Yeah, and we're talking
but-
about a coffee frother, by the way,
Coffee-
guys. So you can get
cream frother,
coffee
coffee frother, yeah.
cream frother.
So obviously it doesn't age in the glass, but it will change in your bottle as air is in there. You get the whole oxidation process.
Right.
Some of the alcohol.
Alkalides?
Wow. Some
Are
of
there
the
alkalides in there? I'm just
some
kidding.
of the alcohol will equalize out into the air, the headspace above the liquid. You know, some of those things. So it will change as it's in the glass bottle. So you just sipped it.
Yeah, I did.
Is it worse now? Is it better?
Well, I
About
think
same?
it made the front palate better, and it made the back palate worse. That's just my read of it. It's just not hitting any of the things that I like about a rye. Like, I actually think it made the back palate more bitter somehow. I don't know how that's possible. Is your frother rusty?
Try that again, dude. I think it made the middle and the finish taste a little more like the beginning.
I think it made it smoother overall.
It made it smoother overall to get some air in there.
Yeah.
But it's still great front, falls off on the middle and the end. So
Yeah.
I had high hopes, man, because of the color, and 18 months is a long time in a second barrel like that.
And the presentation
And the color
is
was
beautiful.
dark, and
Yeah. We're kind of. I mean, it's dark, but it's not exceptionally dark. I think part of it's a mind trick of having the multiple panes of glass the way it is. So Kenny,
if Sagamore Spirits is listening,
yeah,
maybe they could send us a media sample of something they consider premium.
There you go.
And we'll do a review on that. How about that?
Yeah, I'm sure they'll do that after we get to this past drive-by. I mean, maybe they will, maybe they won't. So, Kenny, I want you to go first this time. Would you pass, try, or buy on this Sagamore Spirit Double Oaked Rye?
It is $54.99.
Yeah.
I'm either a pass or a try. I'm trying to go between pass and try. Let me think here real quick.
You're allowed some time to think.
Hang on. So, how much do they even charge at bars compared to what a bottle costs when they do? I know they got to make money on it. So,
I don't know, because then I also know that like wholesale on some bottles is damn near the retail. So I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I've talked to multiple people when I see the price of a bottle and I go, "Oh my God, what is that?" And they're like, "Oh, that's the wholesale is just as high as the retail is." So
I mean, I would if you can get a pour of this for $10, $11 at a bar, I'd try it.
Okay.
But I'm a pass or a try if you can get it for $10 maybe at a bar, just to see how you like it. But I'm gonna go for one last drink, third drink, last drink.
All right.
Yeah, man. Front's good, middle and end is not. So I'm gonna go pass. I'm gonna go pass.
All right.
I'm gonna change the pass.
And here's what I'm going to say about that. I had really, extremely high hopes for this based on what you, and Caleb tasted. Okay. And this might be, this is terrible. It's strong for me because you know me, I like to buy or try a lot of things. This is a solid pass for me.
Yeah.
And the reason it's a solid pass is because of the finish. The finish just smacks as something weird that you don't want to taste.
Yeah.
So no matter what I'm tasting at the beginning of this, after I finish it, I'm going to have that aftertaste, that finish in and that's going to be what I'm remembering. And it's just not hitting. It's just very earthy, very astringent, just weird for a rye. And I'm just wondering, maybe the 18 months is too long?
Yeah.
Maybe the toasting in the 18 months is too long. So that makes me wonder what they started with, because I have had some dynamic 2 to 4 year old ryes. I had a Starlight 2-year-old rye one time where I was like, how is this 2 years old? It tastes like candy. It was good. And so if this is a 4 to 5 year old rye,
that's why I had high hopes.
Yeah, exactly.
It's 4 to 5 year old rye,
right?
18 months extra, dark color.
Ooh.
But for $35 to $40, those Rittenhouse rye picks slap this.
Oh, 1,000%.
That's why I'm gonna pass.
Yeah, me too.
Pass.
Yeah, and I actually think maybe old Kevin Plank sold at the right time. You think he sold at the right time? Hey, if D. Serrano wants it, give it to him, right? That's terrible. Yeah, we're honest, and so I'm a pass too. Even I know you said $10 or $11, maybe you might try it. For me,
but that was at first I would. But
that was the first.
I went for the third drink.
Yeah, that's right.
But after my third drink, I'm like, no, I'm a pass now.
It's a pass. Yeah,
I'm a pass.
And I honestly think if you're going to see this at a bar, unless they're offering it for $5 to $7,
yeah, man, $5.
$5. It's $5.
$5.
Yeah,
that's it.
$5. That's all. And
I hate to be like that.
Yeah, I do
that
too.
Sounds so mean.
Because there's people that put their heart and soul into this kind of a product, but
no.
Hey, when you're gonna be honest, you can be honest. You
grab you a Rittenhouse rye pick for $35 to $40 instead.
Oh, it
crushes
it. It kills it. So. Well, I wish we had better things to say, but hey, maybe that's the one that got away, just like the horse that didn't win the Triple Crown back there in the day. So, and with that, thanks for listening. please like and follow us on Instagram and Facebook at The Mashup KY. Also, let us know your thoughts on this bottle in the comments section. Don't forget to visit our partner, bourbonoutfitter.com. Enter code The Mashup at checkout for a special discount. Until next week, keep it neat.